want to ask you because this time you also did a lot of stunts. I remember when the plane crashed and how is the shooting process
Pardon me?
The plane crash.
Yeah, the plane crash is very interesting. It's a sequence that I've been kind of thinking about for a long time, and when I was asked by Universal, I came in and I saw that they had a plane crash sequence in there, and I thought, okay, what I'd like to do is put this idea into The Mummy. And we flew to France, and it's called 0G, and the airplane literally goes into a parabola, and we're in 0G. So we designed the plane crash so that we could shoot it for real, practically. So when you see that stuff, we actually built the set inside a real airplane. And the whole airplane goes up, and Annabelle and I did this sequence. We had the whole crew on the airplane while we're filming, and it was very cool.
Is it hard for you to persuade them to shoot for real?
That's a good question. It took a little bit on this, not too much, really. But at first they weren't sure if it would work, because you don't know if something like this can technically be done. So I sent a crew to do a little research and development to make sure that, and I told them this is going to be very, very cool. But then at a certain point they know that I'm going to do it as safely as possible. And, but still it's a stunt. It's, you're doing things that are extreme. And so there's always concern from certain people within the studio. Always a little bit of, a little bit of concern, but I tend to just go, this is what's going to happen, so just let us do it. And,
so you just insist on that?
I do. I just say this is going to happen, and we're going to get this done.
How many takes?
64. We shot it over 2 days. So it was we shot. You would do with 34. What is 64? So it was we did 32 and 32. So we do 16 in the morning, 16 in the afternoon on both days. You got to get in the airplane, take off, go up, and do the parabola that takes you into 0G. So we did 64 total.
Also, you will appear in Top Gun 2, and it's confirmed.
And right now I'm actually shooting Mission Impossible. At the moment, when I saw you on Jack Reacher, I was shooting The Mummy, and I just finished American Made, So I have American Made coming out this summer also that I did with the director of Edge of Tomorrow. And I'm filming Mission Impossible as we speak now.
Yeah, as we know, you have a very tight schedule, and people always ask you, I think, that when you're gonna stop and have a rest, and you always keep going. Are you tired of being asked that? When you're gonna stop?
I know. I think I've been asked that my entire career.
Yeah.
I think, I'm never gonna stop. It's something that I love to do. I love this, and it's, as you said. I'm prepping Top Gun.
Yeah.
We're working on the script right now, and as I'm doing that, I'm shooting Mission Impossible right now. I'm in the middle of some of the most extreme stunts that have ever been filmed in cinema. So it's going to be very interesting these next months.
What kind of preparation for Top Gun? Can you fly a plane right now?
I'm a pilot. I fly aerobatic airplanes, and I fly helicopters. So you'll see some of the kind of sequences. I fly mostly aerobatic airplanes, but I'm a commercial pilot. I have a lot of training and many hours in airplanes and helicopters. It's one of the things that I have a great passion for, aviation. And that's the reason why I wanted to make Top Gun in the first place.
Yeah. Have you talked about the stunts in Top Gun 2? I will, do a more difficult one, every time you always surprise us with.
Well, you're just gonna have to see. Top Gun, we're gonna keep that one under wraps for until we get close to it, but I'm very excited. It took a lot. Jerry, I'm very excited to be working with Jerry Bruckheimer, who's, Jerry Bruckheimer is, I think, just one of the greatest producers in the history of Hollywood pictures. He produced Pirates and he produced Top Gun originally. He's produced many great films, so I'm looking forward to being back with him and working with him on this.
Yeah. Have you realized that with so many movies, you put yourself in a very difficult situation because every time you do some stunt and the people, expecting more from you, and every time you're gonna, do a much more difficult one, like.
It's interesting. I expect more from myself every time, and what I think the most important thing even is not just necessarily the stunt, it's the story within the stunt. If you look at, Zero G for The Mummy, it's very interesting because you're seeing what these two characters are going through and what's happening with that character at that particular time. And it's, so it's like, yeah, the stunt, but it's really about story and it's about character within that action. That's interests me.
Yeah, actually I want to ask because, is there a moment like, why the hell I'm doing this? You are so afraid. Do you have the moment that you have fear, like?
You know what? I really, you have the adrenaline flow going through it. It's adrenaline that you're and a focus on the sequence and on the scene. So, it's interesting also because making The Mummy, and the reason that I made this film was because I love monster movies. I love the origins of monster movies. If you look at, The Mummy was a film that helped to establish Universal Pictures back in the 1930s. That's when it was first came out. So, and when I grew up, I saw these films in black and white on television. Very interested, and I loved the world that it brought me to. It was scary and it was adventurous and it was fascinating. The world being in there with the mythology of the Egyptian mythology. So that's something that to have this opportunity to be part of this whole universe that Universal Pictures is doing, this dark universe. So they're going to have all of their monsters are going to come within a whole paradigm, a whole pattern of this kind of style of film where it has, massive action, suspense, some scares, but also some really good laughs. And that's what interested me about making this movie and the challenge of a whole different kind of tone of film to be part of.
Yeah, The Mummy kickstarts a dark universe, and I wonder because the dark universe is a new universe, and lots of universe in the film industry. And how involved are you? Do you come up with the idea like a dark universe, and like your character will appear in the future,
Yeah, Universal came to me. They came up with the title of the Dark Universe, and they've been working on their monsters and thinking about this for many years. But they came to me with the idea, and I remember when they came to me with the Mummy, it was like the first female mummy. They just showed me a picture of Sophia. So I work with the director, and we work on story and characters together. And this character, as it evolves, you'll see, we don't want to give too much away, but you see how the film ends, and you're going to see what Nick becomes as the films unfold, because you're going to have Frankenstein, you're going to have the Invisible Man, you're going to have, the Wolfman and Dracula in these really epic visual films as it goes on, and all the characters are going to, I think, mix in a really cool way.
Yeah, also Johnny Depp, because we saw
Yes.
the photo, and
Yes.
you guys shoot together because you are so kind of legend in the industry, and this is the first time you will work together.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to work with him.
How do you feel like for you?
Oh, I think I really admire his work. I think he's a tremendous actor, and that's, another thing. Having Russell Crowe to work in The Mummy, he's someone that I've known for many, many years, and I really admire him as an actor. And you see him in this film, and what he's going to do with Dr. Jekyll, as that progresses. So it's very cool. I'm really excited for audiences to see this. I mean, it's kind of that very, and to see this is an origin story, and it's the very first one of this whole series. So it's gonna be very cool.
Yeah, Last quick question, like, are you a ticklish person? Because the film, like,
I know. Yeah, the scene.
I remember I said like Sophia is all on you, like you are ticklish, like it's an improvisation or like you are really a ticklish person.
So, I'm actually. It's funny. I'm not very ticklish.
So
So I was acting.
I see. That's really funny.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. Alex said when we were doing it, Annabelle, I mean Sophia, when she came on, it was like we were playing with different things and trying to figure out what tone we could get away with. So she, and I thought, I said to Alex and Sophia, I said she should start, she should, when she finally comes and it's the first time she sees me really in person because she's inside my head, the mummy. And now it's the first time, so she's checking her merchandise, basically. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is her man for eternity going to look like? And then Alex came up with the idea of like her touching me and ripping my shirt up and touching my ribs and saying, have her tickle you a little bit. I thought it was a really good idea.
Yeah, that's
Fun.
It's so funny.
No.
Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you
Really
so much.
fun.